Aloha and welcome to Java. This is Sunday, January 21st, 2024 for the week coming up. We've got quite a bit to go over today, as usual. And so I would like to go ahead and start in with our favorite risk indicator, the MMRI. Did rise on Friday, so currently 264.4. The increase in risk is on the back of the stock market making another record high. So the sentiment currently is bull greed. Basically, bulls back into the market. It did not pull back as I expected it would toward the end of the day. Normally, there is a bit of correction. There was a bit of chop. However, we're going to see what happens with this coming week, but I'll keep you up to date on that. So we're looking forward to quarter four GDP, PMI numbers coming out. We've also got the Bank of Japan, European Central Bank, and the Bank of Canada making decisions this week. And we've got some major earnings coming out, notably from Tesla, Visa, which I'll talk about a little bit later, Netflix, American Airlines, and then LMT is Lockheed Martin and GD is General Dynamics as both war stocks. They provide war machines, basically. So getting right into our stories, we've got a couple of convergent ones here. So we've got Italy is facing economic uncertainty in the first part of 2024. Key business lobby says so they're blaming basically the Red Sea turmoil and the shipping delays. So they're finally realizing that's affecting their economy, or even if they realized it, they're finally admitting. And then we've also got the oil industry talking about the Red Sea shipping chaos lasting for weeks. Well, I think it's going to last beyond weeks because they have to achieve their goal. And it's going to be sometime, as we saw with Ukraine, they were talking about would be a short period, and they're still not out of that. So in the United States, the layoffs are continuing. So we've got Sports Illustrated undergoing massive layoffs after they lost a licensing agreement. And so the publication, at first they were saying they were going to lay off their entire staff, but now they're saying that even though it wasn't their entire staff, it was still an ugly, brutal day with many layoffs. So quite significant that publication has been around for quite some time. So we've got X, formerly known as Twitter. They're launching a dedicated payments account. So everyone's kind of looking into that for the cryptocurrency space. We did have the correction in Bitcoin after the ETFs that we expected, and now it's back on its climb. So I expect it to kind of build from here into what we call the halving, but we'll keep you up to date on that as well. So moving on, I really wanted to get to one of the later stories here. I was talking about insurance, and here is one of the issues that I meant that is behind all of this. So we've got hedge funds raking in huge profits by betting on this catastrophe risk. Insurance-linked securities were the best hedge fund play. And they're talking about all of the destruction that happened, all of the weather-related. They made serious money off of this. So just to make you think about that a bit, because this is what I'm digging into, and I see it as it's a huge problem going forward. We're not anywhere near where we're going to go with that one. Anyway, moving on also to the wave of debt that is coming for us. We had Discover actually came out, and their income took quite a beating. Basically, they're blaming it on credit quality deteriorating and costs rising. What does this mean? Basically, people with credit cards starting to not pay their payments. So they're getting debts with that. And we're getting earnings from Visa. So Discover is one of the smaller of the cards. We've got, of course, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Visa is reporting their earnings. I expect them still to be strong, but this will be kind of, we'll see if it's the hill or not. So these two convergent stories, wanted to bring this up. This will be very interesting to you. So the first one, they came out saying it's clear that the financing needs for Ukraine will be immense for the country's reconstruction. So always with the war, there's the reconstruction, the reparations that come afterwards. And who pays for those? Well, they are expecting this. So the United States and the European Union, while they're having difficult time writing checks to Ukraine, but they're still funding them, they're having difficulties because of the frozen Russian central bank assets that they did. However, Ukraine is trying to make money now selling bonds, selling pre-loans, basically backed by future claims for their reparations, and that other countries are going to kick in to repair their damage. So selling loans against other countries already because they know they're going to get the money from it. Let that sink in for a minute. So moving on, we've got the West in a convergence story standing to lose at least $288 billion in assets. So this is because they seized the Russian assets illegally from SVB. And they were talking about giving these Russian assets to Ukraine to continue with this war. Well, this is Russia's retaliation. They have quite a bit of assets as well. And apparently it's worth about 288 billion. So even if it's less, still significant. So China is also hinting at asymmetric warfare aimed at dethroning the dollar. Basically, what they're doing is a couple of things. They're not just doing local trade in local currencies, not using the dollar, but also they're diminishing their holdings of the currency. So weakening it two ways, basically. So I'm not going to go into the details of that, but just that war is continuing. So, more interesting story, refugees leaving the German state over new cash rules. So when these illegal immigrants come into the country, they're they're seeking asylum. So we're giving cash. Now they're giving cards. These cards are locked down to location now. They can only be spent within a certain area. So I think the bigger story, while a lot of people are supporting this, is obviously that they can expand this very soon when they roll out their central bank digital currency to citizens. So they can only spend their money within a certain area. And in order to pass these, they're getting everybody angry at the illegal immigrants to pass these laws, which now they will just later expand the definition to include the citizens as well. So we've also got the German MPs passing bills easing deportations. Same thing. So they're talking about for the failed asylum seekers so that they can track them. And if they can track them, again, all they have to do is expand the rules and it will include citizens. So now we've got US travelers in the same venue. They're outraged by airport signs because they appear to allow migrants onto flights without identification. So they're able to get on flights without being scanned, having biometric information. They've got the choice right now. They're coming in with border information, very basic information. So they're going to have the people get so angry at this that they demand rules be put in place, which will then in turn later on be used against them. It's very typical, this very beginning stages of this. Uh, I see it coming, others see it coming as well, and we'll keep a watch on it. So, kind of on and off, but we had North Korea confirm underwater nuclear test, and South Korea is saying that this is going to continue. Well, of course it will. So, things kind of heating up on that side as well. I've got one lava update that I would like to bring to you. Sorry, this has gone on a bit long. Why is TikTok parent ByteDance moving into biology, chemistry, and drug discovery? I think this is a very good question. Now, TikTok was banned in many, either government and other areas of the United States for their information gathering practices. So just think about that. I'd like to start bringing up a couple other things just a little bit at a time. There is a lesser known Department of Defense branch. It is military. And I'm going to bring you more of these because there's actually quite a few. But I just wanted to bring this up. The Defense Media Activity. So we think about what they do, the Defense Media Activity, what they say they do, and what they actually get put in charge of. So with that, I would like to go on to one other thing before I let you go. So this is specifically for a viewer that is always here, Raymond Paul. You asked a question as part of a joke, so I'll give you an answer as a sort of riddle. Left is right, right is wrong, for travel in the land of the rising sun. And in Otaguru Park, I saw a beautiful lemon tree. So until I see you again, my friends, stay free.